A Saudi research team at the Research Center of King Faisal Specialist Hospital developed a diagnostic test for the novel coronavirus COVID-19 that has been approved by the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. The test uses polymerase chain reaction (PCR), which produces multiple copies of a single strand of DNA and has become the most common basis for coronavirus tests. This achievement forms a bulwark against problems that the hospital may face in the event of a national or global shortage of commercially manufactured products, a serious concern given the high demand for these products in light of the epidemic's persistence. Saudi Arabia is continuing its efforts to reduce the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic in the kingdom by increasing financing and commercial activities. The Saudi Ports Authority announced it has started operating a new shipping line for container transportation between the kingdom and East Asian countries, supported by the Logistics Committee and under the supervision of the Minister of Transport. The new route will be operated through global shipping line Hyundai Merchant Marine and partly in agreement with the alliance consisting of Hapag-Lloyd of Germany, Open of Japan, and Yangming of Taiwan. A draft constitution presented by the Algerian presidency earlier this month caused a sharp division within the opposition blocs, including Islamists, secularists, and liberals. The presidency has voted to consider all observations and notes presented by various parties before adopting the final version of the constitution, which will be presented to Parliament for approval and then for popular referendum. The head of Jadid Party, Soufiane Jilani, indicated that the draft includes several positive components, such as promoting freedom of the press by preventing any form of censorship. Iran's main stock index dropped below 1 million points a week after topping that mark, state-affiliated media reported. The Tehran Stock Exchange's benchmark TEDx index lost 30,000 points in early trading on Saturday, falling to 989,000 points. The stock exchange rose above the 1 million mark for the first time last Saturday, amid warnings that the market was overheating. Iran sentenced a French-Iranian academic to 5 years in prison on national security charges. Fariba Adelka was sentenced to 5 years for gathering and conspiring against national security and 1 year for propaganda against the Islamic Republic. Her lawyer said his client would only be expected to serve the longer 5-year jail term and added that she intended to appeal. Terrorist groups on Tunisia's border with Algeria are now isolated and incapable of carrying out any attacks to destabilize the country. Speaking during a visit to the western central Kasserine province, the Interior Minister asserted that Tunisia's victory over terrorism will start from Kasserine, and this will pave the way for major development projects in the region. He pointed out that the ministry's counter-terrorism strategy has shifted its defensive approach to tracking down terrorists in their hideouts. Tensions have been high in Syria's southern Daraa region, known as the cradle of the revolution, as the regime prepared to storm the region in wake of an uptick in attacks that have targeted its forces in recent months. Local committees and Russia are racing against time to prevent the regime, which has brought in military reinforcements in the shape of its 4th Brigade, from attacking the area. Earlier this month, unknown gunmen killed 9 Syrian policemen in Daraa's village of Muzarrib near the border with Jordan. Clashes between the Libyan National Army (LNA), commanded by Khalifa Haftar, and forces loyal to the Government of National Accord (GNA), headed by Faiz al-Sarraj, eased after 2 days of intense fighting at the majority of the front lines around the capital Tripoli. Intermittent clashes was reported on Friday, as the NATO said it's prepared to help the GNA in the area of defense and security institution building in response to a request by Sarraj to assist it to strengthen its security institutions. Spokesman for the UN Secretary General, Stephane Dujarric, renewed the organization's call for a ceasefire in Libya so that efforts can be focused on the fight against the novel coronavirus. Lebanon launched last week an operation to tackle violations of maritime properties, which are expected to bring millions of dollars to the state's treasury. Security forces began summoning violators, while all illegal properties would be shut within a week after the end of the 4-day total lockdown imposed over the coronavirus outbreak. The move came upon an order by State Prosecutor Ghassan Udait to stop all maritime properties whose owners did not pay taxes arising from the settlement of their status, and all those who failed to meet the legal conditions for the settlement. The EU fired a fresh broadside at Turkey in a troubling dispute over drilling for gas off Cyprus, accusing Ankara of escalating tensions. The bloc has repeatedly urged Turkey to end its energy exploration of the island, saying the drilling is illegal because it infringes on EU member Cyprus' exclusive economic zone. Earlier this year, the EU imposed an asset freeze and entry ban on 2 Turkish citizens involved in the operations, but Ankara has vowed to defy the criticism. The Civil Protection Agency said the daily death toll from the coronavirus epidemic in Italy fell to 153 on Saturday, its lowest since March the 9th, against 242 the day before, while the daily tally of new cases increased to 875 from 789. The total death toll since the outbreak came to light on February 21st now stands at 31,763, the agency said, the third highest in the world after those of the United States and Britain. The number of confirmed cases amounts to 224,760, the fifth highest global tally behind those of the United States, Spain, Britain, and Russia. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said Spain's government will seek a fresh extension of its state of emergency that will last about a month until the transition out of lockdown is completed. If such a measure is approved by lawmakers, it would mean the state of emergency that is currently set to expire on May 24th would last until late June. The lockdown was first declared on March 14th to slow the spread of the virus in Spain, which has suffered one of the world's most deadly outbreaks with 27,000 deaths and more than 230,000 cases. President Emerson Mnangagwa said Zimbabwe will keep its coronavirus lockdown for the time being, though businesses will be allowed to open for longer and the restrictions will be reviewed every 2 weeks. The Southern African nation, which has reported 42 cases and 4 deaths from the novel coronavirus, went into lockdown on March 30th and has been gradually easing the measures to help revive its troubled economy. Shared taxis will remain banned, forcing commuters to use buses operated by the state, which have struggled to cope with demand. More than 250 global artists and writers, including rocker Peter Gabriel, director Ken Loach, and actor Viggo Mortensen, have appealed to Israel to stop the siege of Gaza. The coronavirus epidemic could have a devastating effect in the world's largest open-air prison, the artist said in an online letter. Other signatories included poet Taha Adnan, Canadian writer Naomi Klein, and British group Massive Attack.